Hello, good afternoon, Halftime TV viewers and subscribers. Welcome to another episode, and I hope and trust everyone is enjoying their day today. I hope you're staying dry wherever you are. If you're new to Halftime TV, please remember smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet done so. All right. Shout out to my sponsors, Quick Link Shipping. Anything you need whatsoever shipped into Jamaica, they have you covered. And RS Sports Store for all your latest sporting clothing and apparel. Check out our sports store. All right, guys. So I'll provide the link for both of those down in the description below. But we have a tricky topic today, and I think most of you guys will be interested to discuss this one because Ivan Toney, yes, Ivan Toney, a ton load of rumors over the past couple of months, and even dating back to almost a year. I think when Reggae Boyz commentary broke the news that there was possible interest in Ivan Toney was maybe just about a year ago. Now, all the YouTube, the Reggae Boyz YouTubers, they've done episodes on Ivan Toney and the possibility of him representing Jamaica. And all those hopes were basically shattered a couple of weeks ago when Ivan Toney was included in the English squad for this international break. No, I think the international break it was England's final two games before going into the World Cup. The group stages they'll face Iran, they'll face the United States as well. I think on paper we would expect England to come out atop that group. However, football isn't played on paper. But the past two games, England played Italy, who we all know won't be a part of the World Cup this year, and they played Germany. Now, considering Ivan Toney was not a part of the lineup, considering Ivan Toney was not a part of the lineup in the game against Italy, a lot of the pundits had him being a starter in the game for Germany. That wasn't the case. And I'll go over to the comments 1 second. The fact that he didn't play means there's a possibility he could play for Jamaica. Remember, Mikel Antonio sat on England's bench without playing. Yes, big up Nati Congo, and thanks for that comment. But I have a question, but I'll leave it till further down in the show. Now, what I'll say is Gareth Southgate, he still hasn't figured out the plan B as yet. And for the English fans, I'm sure a lot of you guys can agree with me. We know that Harry Kane is the man. We know that Harry Kane will start for England in the World Cup. However, if, God forbid, something goes wrong with Harry Kane, say, for instance, he picks up an injury, we don't know who comes in next. It's been Tammy Abraham. It's been Dominic Calvert-Lewin. There's been a number of other names. I think Ollie Watkins is sniffing for a place in there as well. Number of names floating around there that we would expect to be given an opportunity to represent England. Now, Ivan Toney, he started this season hot. He's been in fantastic form this season. They got a hat-trick a couple of days ago as well in the English Premier League. Big player. On his day, he's virtually unplayable. One of the top penalty takers as well. I think his conversion is impeccable, and his manager has oftentimes spoken about it, said, and I quote, he's the best penalty taker I've ever seen. And again, we can see why the Jamaican officials were interested in bringing in Ivan Toney. He is a top quality player. He's tried and tested in the English Premier League. He's tried and tested in a team that plays with less possession. And I think going forward, that's what Jamaica will be. And I think even in previous times, that's what Jamaica was. And Mikel Antonio, he came in, he got an invite as well from the English team, didn't get the opportunity to play. I think he picked up an injury at one point, and he was on the bench at one point as well. But fact of the matter, he didn't play for England, and he ultimately opted to play for Jamaica. But I think the rumors surrounding Mikel Antonio playing for Jamaica up until that point, they weren't as loud as the Ivan Toney rumors playing for Jamaica these days. And Callum Wilson, and just to sidetrack a little bit, Callum Wilson in a podcast, he said he could have played for Jamaica. He could have played for Jamaica. And I think Troy Deeney spoke about it as well. He could have played for Jamaica. But again, he doesn't identify as a Jamaican, and he grew up in England. He grew up with the English culture, everything English, and he wanted to play for England. So that's where his aspirations were. I think. All right, Toffee Rudy saying, I strongly support these UK-born players waiting it out for England from a financial basis. No, I think Toney chances of making the team is down to 10%. All right, so Ivan Toney, Tevin Mitchell, even Mitchell them pick and don't give him no game. So Jamaica should go for him now to Tyreek Mitchell. All right, so I think when we look at the long and short of everything, and I know a lot of you guys you want me to talk about the game later on. You can't wait to hear about that. But we won't talk about the game later on. I'll leave that for later. Remember, smash the like button as soon as you hop on. But Ivan Toney being in the England squad for 2 games, the second game meant nothing, right? Meant nothing. England was already out. They were already down to Group B when it comes down to the Nations League. So they'll contest the B batch next year. So they can't win the Nations League again. They don't stand a chance. The game meant nothing, and yet, and I say this without regret, Ivan Toney was still not good enough to make it into that team. Now I go through and I say, okay, what other English striker right now playing in the English Premier League is better than Ivan Toney, apart from Harry Kane? I can't really pick any. I can't really pick any. So off the bat, I can't really pick any. All right. You have English wingers that are doing well, but out and out strikers, I can't really pick any, and that says a lot about his quality. It says a lot about the season he's having, and it says a lot about Gareth Southgate and his approach to things. Because whereas I am happy that the possibility still lies that he may very well represent Jamaica, and whether or not we as the Jamaican fans should welcome him with open arms, I'll get to that in a little bit. But I think it says a lot about Gareth Southgate and his capacity to change things up as a manager. Let's go over to the comments. Tevin Campbell, yeah, I think we went through that one. Rudy, it's no time for JFF to put their pride aside and pursue him 100%. If you want something or someone that bad, then go for it. Let's not sit and wait for him to approach us. But I've heard that they've approached him. They've approached him before, and he's indicated that he hasn't made his mind up as yet. So now the question becomes, what do you guys think our approach should be when it comes to these players who are waiting basically to be rejected by England? And I think we've gone through this time and time again. Players like Troy Deeney, players like Callum Wilson, who spoke about their commitment to England, and that's why they're waiting out to play for England, and them not feeling the same when they play for, if they should go to play for the likes of Jamaica. The players who get the opportunity to represent Jamaica and to represent other countries as well, I think they won't. I think they won't say it out loud. However, that's the innate feeling among a lot of these players. That's why they don't come to play for Jamaica. And it's far more than the financial reasons, because a lot of these players, they're well paid by their clubs. So they don't have to worry about the money and all of the external factors. They just want to play international football. But because they identify as Englishmen, and secondarily as Jamaicans or whatever nationality that their parents or their forefathers migrated to England from, then that's why they want to represent England first. Natty Congo, greetings, brother. Southgate is going for players that are tested and proven as it relates to the World Cup. I agree, Natty Congo, but players that are tested and proven, I agree. But you have to be able to say, okay, things aren't going right. These are the players that I'm calling on. Because if he's going for players who are tested and proven, that means he shouldn't be calling up anyone who's new. He should be calling up players who's already been to tournaments with him. He shouldn't be calling up players And he said it himself that he's selecting players based on form. All right. He said he's selecting players based on form, based on their current output. That's what he said. Rashford is ahead of Toney and Tammy, but Rashford isn't an out and out number 9. All right, Tevin Campbell. He was waiting for England when they approached him before, but it's obvious now that he's not in the coach's top 2 strikers, or else they would find a way to cap him. My opinion. I agree, Toffee. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly, and that's why I want to put it out there. No, I want to put it out there. No, because obviously, and again, and I'll constantly make reference to these individuals, the likes of Troy Deeney, top talent, the likes of Callum Wilson, top talent. But these players, they're not coming to play for Jamaica because they can't identify as Jamaicans. And I think it's the same with Ivan Toney. I think that is the reason why he's waiting and he's waiting and he's waiting. I say approach him one more time, and if he's still undecided, then we move on. We can't sit around and wait for a player. Or diaspora is widening every day, and players are coming wanting to represent. I agree, Walker. I agree. So, what do you guys think? And I think Walker answered the question there, but I'm going to throw it out now to everyone. What do you guys think the JFF's next approach should be when it comes down to Ivan Toney? Should we continue to pursue him now that he's been rejected by the English national team, or should we call it quits and look elsewhere for players to represent? Let me know. And I think with this new manager that's in, he will have a big say. It's not that they hear how disrespectful the JFF. Okay, first responder. All right, probably that could very well be the case. But do you think the JFF should pursue Ivan Toney once more, or do you think we should call it quits and look elsewhere for players to represent us? He's been rejected by the English national team. Obviously, Gareth Southgate is not a fan of him. Top form this season in the English Premier League. Probably we could make him a part of our plans for the next campaign, for the Gold Cup that is coming, and for the next World Cup. Let's hear what you guys have to say down in the comment section. I think he's relatively young in comparison to the other strikers that we have, the likes of Gray and Mikel Antonio. By the next World Cup, they should be mid-30s. Ivan Toney should be just thereabout. I think Antonio and one of the other top UK-born players should invite him to dinner when they return, especially Antonio, because he's been there after that dinner meeting. Then doors open. Okay, not the JFF. Let the coach speak to all prospects from now on. First responder. Thank you so very much for that, first responder. Some magnificent comments today, some magnificent feedback. First responder, you're on top form today. All right, but we want to hear what your opinions are in that regard, folks. Do you think Ivan Toney is now all or nothing for the Jamaican, I'll say the Jamaican national team? For Jaime Hallgrimson, should he go all in for Ivan Toney since Gareth Southgate is not interested? We want to hear what the feedback is. We want to hear what the views are. Let's keep those coming in. All right. He was in both squads. A team was assembled. I think all the pundits across England, from Talk Sport to Sky Sport, all over England, they wanted to see Ivan Toney a part of the setup for that game against Germany. That was not the case. And that right there meant Gareth Southgate was not interested, because the game meant virtually nothing. There are other players, the likes of Fikayo Tomori, who he was called in, and then he was removed from the squad as well. Fikayo Tomori, the highest number of clean sheets among all the English centre halves last season, and it's surprising that he wasn't a part of the squad. But we're not talking about Tomori, and he too has I think he's able to play for Canada, and he's able to play for an African country. I'm not sure what African country, but he too can possibly switch allegiance. Probably it's too far down. Probably he'll have to wait some time, but I think the option still is there for him. Let's go back over to the comments and see what's happening, what the commenters are saying. First responder, If that's every player excuse for not coming to represent the Reggae Boys, then we wouldn't have a team. All right, first responder, I agree. But at the professional level, the coach should get involved only when it's time to say yes or no. Okay. I don't think we should beg anyone to play for our country. If Toney wants to play for Jamaica, then he should reach out to the federation. Derek G, that's an interesting take. And we assessed that option when Mikel Antonio, I think when we were providing coverage on the Mikel Antonio situation, we assessed that viewpoint as well. Are we essentially chasing behind a bunch of English rejects? That was the statement that we were exploring. But I want to hear your views. I want to hear your views. I want you to keep those comments coming in. First responder, that's what I think is going to happen. The coach will be speaking to the players himself, not the Congo. I think we should continue to pursue Ivan Toney, Lewis Baker, Demari Gray, and all the other high-level players who can improve our team. Take a flight after the England squad is picked and speak with all possibilities to give them one last chance. But let the coach alone make the trip. It's not begging. We want him. We need to go for him. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So some interesting takes coming in. This is our quick lunchtime or midday live. We do this most days where we check in and have a quick chit chat on what's happening in the world of sport and in the world of football in particular. Remember, folks, smash the like button as we continue to pursue 12,000 subscribers. Don't forget to subscribe as well. All right, keep those comments coming in, keep those views coming in. Ivan Toney, he's still on the market. Do we go for him? Do we give up? Let's hear. But Tuffy, how long are we to pursue these players before we decide to moving on from them? Okay, that's also an interesting take from Walker. Is there a time limit? Is there a time limit? The S Technic skip. Toney will not play for Jamaica. Fab Alexander. Well, S Technic skip. What are they? What would you refer to them as? Because if you try out for something and you don't get selected, you're rejected. Gareth Southgate rejected him. No. Gareth Southgate rejected him. So he was rejected by Gareth Southgate. All right, and to form a verb from someone who has been rejected, so a noun from someone who has been rejected, it's a reject. So, and I mean that with no disrespect to Ivan Toney and to all the other players who initially had plans for playing for England but weren't given the opportunity. All right, Toney will not. He is on the bench. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, very, very interesting to see where he will play in time. Fab Alexander. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But Gareth Southgate, I think the decision that he made yesterday to leave Ivan Toney out of the team, it was a statement, and a lot of the critics, they will hold it against him. Tuffy Rudy said, I agree. But before he was waiting on England, but now it's obvious they don't want him. So try again. All right. Yeah, let's try again. Let's try again. Nicholas, these players are still walking around with blindfolds over their heads because it has been clear that Southgate only cap Jamaica decent players, one cap and done. So let him keep chasing England. All right, Nicholas, thanks for that. But yeah, will one cap be enough? So that's another avenue that we need to explore, because based on what we're seeing, Gareth Southgate will possibly give him a cap. Will possibly give him two caps, and then that's it, because we know how difficult it is to switch allegiance when the time comes. So him going out there, getting two caps for England, and then for the rest of his days not being in the squad, not being called up, and that sort of thing, I think it's a little bit tricky from Ivan Toney, and it's a decision that he will need to make. He will need to decide on that one. That's why I'm saying try one more time. Okay. No, when they say England reject, that's disrespectful. I just want all of our UK-born Jamaican come home and put on our colors. All right, all right. Thank you so very much for that input. I agree with the last comment. I'm not sure what comment that was. All right, but yeah, Keep the views coming in, folks. Keep the views coming in. Let's hear what your views and your opinions are on Ivan Toney representing Jamaica. Do we have a chance of getting him in for the next Gold Cup squad? Let us know in the comment section. Take care of yourself, folks. Enjoy what's left of your day. Bye bye. Peace out.